Hi, I'm Pedro. Wanna play? Okay, so welcome back to the Child's Play franchise, everybody. We brought back Jay, since he was in the first movie's commentary.
Alright, I've taken out all of the bells and whistles. We're back to good old Chucky. Good old being relative.
And we also threw in Deji here as well, why not? Don't worry, he's seen the first movie on another occasion, so he's caught up. As Chucky would say in the streaming series, previously on fucking Chucky. Andy got himself a good guy doll. Turns out that good guy doll was possessed by the spirit of Charls Lee Ray. Who's Charls Lee Ray? He was a serial murderer, and he knew voodoo powers that could transfer his soul to other things. And he transferred his soul to a good guy.
He wasn't a good guy.
Yeah, that's the very good, Jova. That's the irony of it. So he forgot the entire thing, trying to transfer his soul to Andy's body, but he failed. The idea is that Andy was the only one he could transfer his soul to because he was the first human to see him alive. However, as we know, eventually he got burned, mauled, and absolutely destroyed, and that's it. So I guess
he was becoming more human too. So yeah, that had to hurt.
Exactly.
So obviously, he cannot come back from that.
The movie was a
I mean, it's a horror franchise, and you know that we gotta make sequels.
Yeah, exactly.
So what the hell are we watching?
Okay, so since the first movie was a big success at the box office, like did you say, yeah, we have to have sequels. United Artists actually purchased the script for the original Child's Play, partially because the president Tony from I don't know how to pronounce his second name, Tony, and MGM chairman Lee Ray believed that there was potential for sequels. However, so the sequel was in pre-production, was set to begin filming on October 5th, 1989. However, the UA president Richard Berger told producer David Kirshner that the film would put on hold as the studio was about to be acquired by the Australian group Quintexpo. So basically, a lot of shenanigans behind the scenes delayed this movie, basically. As a result, eventually this movie was moved to Universal instead of MGM. So, and that's why we have the Universal logos at the beginning. Originally, the film was actually going to be taking place in a to open in a courtroom scene where sentencing Karen Barkley to a mental institution. Keep in mind, up until this point in the series, we still don't exactly know what happened to Andy's mom. Originally, we were going to have her be committed to a mental institution, which is why Andy is motherless at the beginning of this movie. This is actually the fan favorite of the franchise. In fact, season 1 of the streaming series was intentionally made to try to replicate the tone of this movie, because Don knew that it was the fans' favorite. Alright, everybody, so let's start this. Start before, skip the first Universal logo, and then you should be in sync with us, because there's like a bunch of them here.
Since it's a movie made in 1990, Universal had a thing of having a special type of logo that, transitions into all the ones that they had until that point.
The globe thing, right?
If you've seen Darkman, you know exactly what that is, so you need to start before that one. Take us away, Pedro, please.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Much like with the first movie, I've seen this a long time ago, so this is more of a refresher than anything. As I mentioned, I stopped after 3.
So you said it was supposed to start in a courtroom, and on an unrelated note, the Apollo Justice trilogy is getting a green screen mode.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wonderful.
Totally unrelated to what I'm implying people should do.
The Days of Turning 5 or 6 had a witness. To be fair, we did had the ventriloquist in Turn Big Top. There is that.
So anyway, in regards to Kaepernick and Chris Sarandon, apparently they were supposed to reprise their roles, but apparently their scenes were cut from the script strictly because of budgetary constraints.
Thankfully, we don't have anymore the director Tom Holland as the director. So that
Funnily enough, though, that courtroom scene would be recycled for a future movie.
So we start with an eye.
Aye.
Ah, damn. Eye horror is actually a big weakness of mine, so that would have killed me back in the era it was released.
So Jay, when you played Kirby's Dream Land 3, did you get scared?
Yes, as a child.
So only a Barbie could love.
So yeah.
No, not even Barbies would love this.
Yes, Pedro?
So yeah, since the whole courtroom thing never came through, there you go, Child's Play 2.
brush.
Yes. So we follow Chucky as when he's just been destroyed, yeah, as you can see. So let's see what happened to him after he was completely destroyed at the end of the first movie.
And yep, the one returning actor, one of the two returning actors, Alex Vincent.
This movie,
Alex.
like we just saw, this movie was directed by John Lafayette. So because the director of the original didn't go, one of the first major thing about this movie is that this is regarded by a lot of fans as the movie that basically set everything up for what Chucky is today. Because this was the first movie where Don Mancini was the only writer. And he had full creative control compared to how it was in the first movie.
That's scraping.
It's like, well, one thing to consider, the first movie is still a classic. It's just that, well, not as many people may remember other movies. 2 was the one that would definitely set up the general formula for how these movies tend to go. Chucky's back, trying to get a body, essentially. Stop him.
Oh my God! Chucky is being handled by the guy who restored Woody in Toy Story 2.
I was just about to make a Toy Story 2.
Real quick, I want to know who the hell sent Chucky in for tech repair.
Well, don't worry.
We're actually about to explain. We're actually going to explain. Let's just say Jay, the good guy dolls are incredibly popular in this universe, even after 30 years, as you can see for the TV series.
Oh, well, to be fair, we saw that they were a big hit, and then apparently, given what happens in the 5th movie, there's good reason for them to be popular in modern times.
I can imagine either in the late movies or in the series, they become basically a collector's item, and one important character might be someone obsessed with that.
There's even
It's a novelty, I guess.
It's not just that, Tio. Again, you'll see what I mean when we get... Well, actually, is it really spoiling if I... Okay, basically, by the 5th movie, Chucky has legit become a Hollywood celebrity.
Fair enough.
Chucky the good guy's doll or Chucky the murderer?
Yes.
Yes.
Damn, what a way to turn your life around.
Oh, trust me, Jay, this series goes places.
Gee, I wonder if his corporate guy is an asshole.
Okay, here's the thing about the Child's Play series, a lot of times people ridicule a horror series when it just becomes needlessly silly. Now, some things like, the Freddy Krueger series can be immune to this because Freddy had enough room to add in some comedic elements to it. But stuff like, the Friday the 13th series getting overtly silly was obviously critiqued. Child's Play thankfully loans itself to... Well, let's be honest, the idealism to be both horror-filled and silly.
The very basic premise is already silly by its own nature anyway.
I think what helped is the fact that it had a consistent creator beyond each movie. While instead of stuff like Friday the 13th, where people were plagued by both having different teams going away and out, and the executives at the studio jumping around and not knowing what they were doing.
Oh, here we go.
It really looks like a...
All right, hold on. I've got to take over here for a quick second. From a writer's perspective, the start of this sequel is genius. You never stop and think about what happens to the company that owns the doll that's more or less essentially bunk. Actually being able to see the aftermath of what the murderer did to the franchise company, having the police deny everything, and just going on this what the hell happened sort of spiel is super cool.
Yeah.
It really looks like an operating table in a hospital.
Get used to this, Jay. That's Don Mancini for you.
Believe it or not, Tio, doll hospitals actually are a real thing.
I know that there was a G Manson series at some point.
The machine does not want to put the eyes in.
Understandable. Have a great day. Of course we need a close-up.
Well.
Oh.
Shiro's favorite.
Here we go again.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
So apparently Chucky's a Sith Lord, but yeah, though I do. So okay. So you're probably wondering, why did they rebuild Chucky? Well, that was for the company to find out for sure whether or not they really made a demonic doll that killed people.
I mean, it's a corporation. Of course they will try to make a profit out of that.
Also, yeah, like, I surgery and then immediate flashing lights. Like
Your favorite.
This scene was made to attack me.
You know, like, it's not even just profit steal. They're just trying to do it so that they can say officially, publicly, we did not create a doll that actually killed people.
So what you're saying, Shiro, is that Chucky's out to get you?
Although one thing I have to ask, though, if you replace all those pieces of Chucky, is it really still Chucky in the end?
It is because
Apparently they saved the motherboard and just undid the face.
yeah,
So yes.
there is the soul is still there. But the basic point is, well, look at the bright side, Shiro.
Chucky can.
Well, look at the
Dreams can't hurt you. Dreams aren't true. You better watch out. Freddy Krueger's coming for you.
Don't worry, he's in a different company.
look at the bright side, Shiro. At least he's not a monster. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, shouldn't season 3 be coming out this year?
October 4th, yes. It's by the time this is out on the channel, it's already probably almost over by that point.
Smother this. I'm gonna paint a personal target on your back for this guy.
Yes,
Sorry, he doesn't die in this movie.
yes, Twiz, what is it?
Oh, yeah. For a second there, I thought we were in Doll Hospital.
Oh,
We were in a
This
doll.
guy.
I love that. I love that. Like, what do I do with the doll? Stick it up your ass.
Lord.
Okay, so there's Andy. He's once again played by Alex Vincent.
Yeah, for the next 2 movies, get used to Andy's life becoming miserable and all that.
Also,
Next
it's
one, he
very-
goes to military school.
I saw the actor on the right somewhere. Yeah, this
Let me
Does he learn how to
see.
protect himself in military school? Because that might be the one benefit.
Garrett Graham too.
maybe it was in Murder She
He was in Star Trek. There you go.
Oh,
that,
okay,
that
then.
must be it.
It's always either Murder, She Wrote or Star Trek with these actors around the time.
Also, potentially the first The Stand
Oh, yeah.
series.
Ah, nice.
Oh my god, we're gonna go the entire movie with nobody
Oh
believing
my
him.
god! Oh my god, this guy was in Shopping Mall. Oh, he was also.
No, it's not gonna go on for long. For that long. Jay, don't
I
worry.
get the idea that even Don thought that it might get too old if every single movie has the poor fucker not being believed.
No, I mean, even to this day in the series, there's the occasional moment of "Why are you crazy?" Because, well, I mean, obviously there's gonna have to be some questioning from other people that haven't seen it. Obviously, so, I mean,
I will say this movie does do it to a certain degree that. Okay, it doesn't ruin the movie for me, but it is kind of like the lie revealed thing in Claws, where this movie would be so perfect if they didn't just do that one thing and.
well, the alternative would be to have everybody believe him without evidence, and that would make less sense. I mean,
Well, I was about to go somewhere else with that. The thing is, like, oh yeah, I get it. Initially, obviously, they wouldn't believe the kid that a killer doll suddenly came about here. Also, way to keep your eyes on the road, bud.
Yeah, I was gonna say, watch where you're bloody going, Jesus.
Yeah,
Also,
wanker.
get it? The Child's Play truck nearly killed them. Way to
Also,
bring back
haven't
your
you-
trauma, eh, Andy?
Okay, here's the thing. For any driver characters in movies, don't start arguing with your spouse. That'll get you and possibly your wife or husband killed.
I forgot. How did Jean Grey's parents died in Dark Phoenix? They
Oh,
did
that was
turn around or
because-
something.
Basically, it turns out she accidentally let her Phoenix powers
Yeah,
loose,
'cause-
and that caused a car crash.
Because I think they were having an argument.
Oh, I was confused with something else. Not important anyway.
So I guess
But
the
yeah,
moral of the
Always
story
arguments
is.
while driving.
Yeah, so I guess the moral of the story is: don't have an argument in your car or you'll die.
Well, how
Simple.
else are we going to crash the car and have a
Eyes
dramatic
on the
scene?
road. Also, I'm sorry, did Dario Argento took over? This house is disgustingly colorful. Like,
Sorry, all I heard
Is
was,
Stuart-
how did
is
Jean
this
Grey's
Stuart
parents
Little
die?
9
All I
years
could think
early?
of.
sorry, Luis, can you repeat that?
Is this Stuart Little 9 years early?
maybe.
No, again, I'm more reminded of Suspiria because again, the StarCraft. Maybe it was intentional as a reference. Suspiria is well beloved in the States.
Here's a fun thing, by the way. Brad Dourif recorded all of his dialogue as Chucky in advance, which allowed his words to match up with his facial movements better than in the first film.
What were you saying, Jay?
Oh, I was just making a joke. How Jean Grey's parents die? She was killed while she had full meter.
Come
Pedro,
on!
I think.
See, I
the
was
old
thinking
Jerry
of
Anderson shows
Great
like
Ace
Thunderbirds and
Attorney.
that back in the day.
No, not Great Ace Attorney. Leighton versus Ace Attorney Jean Grey.
She was found guilty and put into the fire.
Anyway,
Yes,
anyway, that's what they did in like old TV shows like Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet back in the day. The characters recorded their lines first, and so then the people could just do the tapping up to make the lips move.
Mm-hmm.
Also, mate, that's a disgusting statue. Why do you even have it around?
Because that's the thing too. They would just explain to him how it's their most prized possession.
Hey, a little throwback to The Shining while we're at it.
Seriously,
Sure, why not?
What's up with these, houses with very long corridors? Hello there.
All right, this is Kyle. So yeah, they actually already have an adopted child in this case.
But she's the rebellious type because she wears her head backwards, smokes, and listens to pop rock music.
Of course.
Oh, the horror!
You could tell the 90s
smoking
were
is bad,
beginning.
so...
Then, I would say this, I have a long problem with this. I was a child, but if I did, I probably would smoke because I really don't give a shit.
I don't actually blame this girl. Actually, it's kind of tragic.
Let me see who she's played by.
This is actually one of the.
Why does she look like Doug's sister?
She's actually one of the fan favorite characters of the franchise.
Judy.
No,
Judy funny.
No, I think it's Kai, if I mentioned.
the character's name is Kyle, but the actress, I think it's.
No. I was referencing Doug because she does look like
Christina.
Judy funny.
The actress's name is Christina Lees.
Wow, she personally made these?
Yes.
So we've got. Is this the foster mother?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
That's basically the foster house.
Yeah, Jenny. She's played by, funny enough, a British actress, Jenny Agutter.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't she in another horror movie?
Whoa.
I knew it. I knew there were going to be one.
I don't know.
He's not having it.
I have seen her in Red Dwarf, funnily enough.
Christina Lee's career mostly went to TV rather than movies.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny Agutter.
Nope, none of
That's
that.
okay.
So yeah, this good guy is called Tommy, so we know it's not Chucky. So.
Sure, and then Teddy Ruxpin is totally trustworthy too.
Wait, Tommy and Chucky? Huh, weird time for a Rugrats reboot.
This is an interesting reboot.
So yeah, in the meantime, there's the good guy's employee that actually has our Chucky. Yeah.
Guy, come on, it's his arm. You can see that.
This guy doesn't know how to stuff a trunk. Play some
This guy doesn't know how
Tetris,
to
but
stuff his own
Gee,
car.
I wonder
If I
who's going to-
speak, I
who's going to be the first victim.
Well,
I mean,
we already
I
saw who
wonder.
was the first we already saw who was the first victim. The guy
Yeah.
who got electrocuted.
Yeah,
He's
technically, yeah.
He's also accustomed to Chucky to just ambush someone in a car. So.
Well, you
Exactly.
never stored a body before?
Deji, you were saying?
Yes, the 90s where you had those impractical type of phones in your car and it was seen as a novelty.
So did we mention who the composer was during the commentary?
No.
Graham Revell.
Graham Revell. This film helped to give a jump start to his career, and I mean, I know we don't mention conductors a lot, but this one's a bit significant in that the conductor for the score was Shirley Walker.
Of Batman and Superman animated series fan.
Really, man?
Fame.
You need
No
booze
parking on the
right
side.
now?
Well, it's their 2-week anniversary. He needs to go pick up vodka.
Exactly.
Funnily
Exactly.
enough, we'll go on to would go on to score a few animated horror films in a series herself. Some of the Final Destination movies.
So you're gonna hotwire it. No, wait, he's gonna play with the phone.
You'll see.
Okay, don't remember, but if that was all the guess, he's gonna strangle him with the cord of the phone. Yellow. Yeesh.
Oh boy.
And yes, once again, Chuck, he's played by Brad Dourif.
Yeah, he no longer and also that bit. He no longer lives. Gee, I wonder.
You ain't carrying vodka.
Fuck's sake.
Also, apparently, this film has a significantly different cut on the TV version.
Yes.
To censor it or something.
Yeah.
Do they at least have rum if they don't have vodka?
No, they have vodka. He doesn't have cash.
As of basically as of 2022, the new remastered Blu-rays of the original trilogy are the best way to watch the original trilogy because they went back to the original camera negatives and did 4K scans, like the works.
Okay, I can.
What was the film you referenced? Sorry, I think it was the other movie.
Child's Play 1, 2, and 3, and the best way to watch them now is through the remastered Blu-rays.
Shit.
Boom.
Also, yeah, I can definitely see.
How did you get a gun?
I can definitely see that the dev team was inspired by the Argento movies because the usage of color, the way it's been so far, yeah, it does remind me of these movies. Okay, I'm curious. What is Chucky going for, like a New York accent or something?
I think so. Jova, would this?
Pretty sure that's a Chicago accent.
Yeah, remember, he's from
Okay.
Chicago.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, the difference between Chicago and New Yorker accents is like, well, New York is like, well, more of the tough guy-ish one, where Chicago was more like the businessman-ish.
Oh no, I listen a fair share, and apparently it best described as people trying to eat the words they're speaking.
Yeah.
How nefarious.
He still has the capability to laugh, even though he's trapped in a doll's body.
No,
Good
it's
on
more
him.
coping. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Now that's how
That's
you
his
kill
real
someone.
way. That's his real way of coping, Tio, killing people.
Yeah.
Dude, hold your breath.
Well, Joe.
my God.
Panic
He's
doesn't
long
mean
since
rationally, Jay.
Well, Joe.
I know,
Just
I
bite
know.
the bag. You'll be free.
To be fair, that actually this was 1990, so there's a good chance that plastic bags were extra thick in layers, and probably even have asbestos, and people didn't even know.
Worse than that, if you bit the bag and he just kept pulling, at this point you got a neck brace on to deal with.
Point of view shot.
How do you figure out where he lived? Uncle Charles.
There was a. Remember, he got. He did that call
He called
to
the
old
orphanage.
place.
Yeah, he called the orphanage and got that
to
info.
okay. I thought that was
And
Grace's
the car conveniently had the entire file of a poor child.
This bit.
So Act 2 of the movie is going to be Chucky dealing with the hilarious shenanigans that get Andy in trouble, isn't it?
Yep.
You'll see. Hold on.
Pedro, you got us the wrong movie again. This is not supposed to be Rockadoodle.
Stop
God.
that.
Oh, you've seen that movie, have you, Dej?
Yes, I showed it to him.
I'm
think
guessing he
Brian
loved
Revel
it just
came
as
back
much
in
as he
future
loved
movies.
Book of
There's
Henry by the sound of that
there's some
groan.
trivia exclusive to my country, but I reserve that when we actually comment on the movie. It's too long to explain now.
Yeah, Graham Revell came back for Bride of Chucky, funnily enough.
Of course you'll see your mother again. Although it'll only be by phone. And it will be so many movies later on, so...
I mean, at least it's better than the joke that I thought you were going to make.
Yeah.
What?
What, that his mother never loved him because she didn't
that
bother
his
to come
mother
back to
was
this
dead
movie?
and Chucky was gonna kill him too, so he says, oh, you're gonna see your mother soon because of this.
Oh, speaking of Rockadoodle, there's a rooster there.
Yeah, the decoration in this house baffled me. Between the color of the walls and the painting and decoration, who the fuck is this guy? Maybe the psychopathic the doll is not, the worst element in the fucking house. Also, how did you manage to show Shiro the movie the first time, Pedro? It's flashy as fuck.
All right, I just want it to be
is-
known. Andy's got an alibi right now.
Oh boy, it's more accidental than anything, Jay. I get the idea it's a coincidence, taking advantage of that. Oh.
He literally murdered Tommy.
Apologies, Pedro. You probably told us during the first movie commentary, but who did the animatronic for the Chucky doll?
Let me get his name
Barry
back
the
up
doll.
again.
You know, in hindsight, maybe remaking that doll wasn't a good idea.
Gee, that's a
But,
corporation making a bad
Let's
move.
move. A corporation doing something bad for profit? When has that ever happened?
Caring about their own reputation
Oh,
or
there you
the
go.
state of
Uh,
innocent people. Wow.
Hey, Shiro, question. Teo
Yes.
is a bit concerned about the flashing
I'm
in
not
this movie.
concerned. I'm more curious. Like, how did you manage to get through the first time Pedro showed the movie
Yes,
to
the
you?
who broke it.
I just look away.
Okay, then.
The thing
Fair
about
enough.
movies is, unless it's something obnoxious, like, the Resident Evil finale,
God.
like, when I go watch movies, I expect flashing to a certain extent. So,
He just got here.
it's generally just a case of looking away. And
Okay,
Alice
then.
also has the same issue, so in those moments we kind of just cover each other's eyes.
Really made
Also-
for each other.
Also,
Um,
Jay, you kind of caught on to one thing that does kind of bother me about this movie. Yeah, either Andy or Kyle pretty much get blamed for just about everything Chucky does in this movie. And don't get me wrong, initially I could
Okay,
get it. But
okay,
the parents
Tyler,
would.
don't-
well, let me
don't take
finish.
a buff, kiddo.
I used to like you, but yeah, fuck off. You're not lamp quick.
No. Remember, there you go.
Initially, I could get it. The parents, would not believe that a doll is doing it. But trust me, with how crazy some of this stuff gets, at the very least, the fact that anyone suspects that these kids are doing stuff gets just a little insane. And
Here's an idea.
yeah,
Sorry, go on.
and yeah, I get it. It's to help keep the actual suspense with Chucky going on, but it gets a little bit on the edge of suspension of disbelief.
Here's an idea. At the cost of sounding dickish towards her, why they don't blame Skylar for it?
Skylar?
Who's
Yeah,
Kyle?
this girl.
Hi,
Her name's
Kyle.
Kyle.
Her name is Kyle too.
Well, that's the same thing.
No. We're not watching Breaking Bad.
The point
here.
being, why don't we blame her? She has a punk-like attitude that showcased clearly, possibly a lack of respect towards them, and showcase that she's a bit of, potential, jealousy.
Maybe the reason. Well, maybe the reason to is because despite all her things, she doesn't have a history of doing this stuff. Whereas this kid who just came in here, so maybe their thinking is this thing started happening when he came here. So
To be fair, these two also established to be either weird, stupid, or both.
Why are they taking care of him, though?
Well, okay, to be fair, they wanted to adopt him, because, they're foster parents and all of that. Although the weird thing about the movie is that you'd think that they would have... Also, yes, the doll had to remember
Think about
his
that name.
That's not
clever.
suspicious at all. But, yeah, though, the weird thing about the parents is, they act like they're so shocked that, oh, a kid who's been through all the stuff that Andy has may have a few problems.
Okay, he has batteries this time.
Alright, you passed the test for now.
That's a clever callback to the first one. You might remember that moment in the first movie where the mom looks at and notices there's no batteries. So.
Mm-hmm.
Powered.
Hi.
Bye. I guess.
I mean, at least he said hi.
Well, Jova, look at it this way. At least it'll be more satisfying when Chucky kills them. So.
No. I mean, it's not even that. Like, it's like I said, though. I feel like part of the reason... Old movie, but, I mean, I'll say this. Part of the reason I prefer the 4th and 5th movies is like, well, yeah, while we do have some of that, of course people don't believe this or that. Like, it doesn't... Well, for one thing, the movies call that stuff out more when we get to them being comedy horrors. And also, those people are dealt with a lot quicker. Yeah. And also, again, if there is one flaw I do have with the trilogy, is that I feel like they trauma dump on Andy just a little too much, especially by the 3rd film. Though, to be fair, the 3rd film is its own can of worms. Again, not bad per se. Like, I wouldn't say that there's any film of here that is actively bad, at least not by Child's Play standards.
Uh-oh. It just so happened to bury the
This is actually... Dej, let me say something. This is actually one of the big reasons why Child's Play 2 is the fan favorite, because fans really like the sibling relationship that these two develop over the course of the movie. And we even get to see it again in the streaming series.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this, for all the issues I have with Child's Play 2, I can just write it off that, well, a Child's Play movie isn't always going to have the most integral writing. Like, you know, there's going to be some stupid bits in Child's Play. That's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a fact of life.
I mean, we're not writing Oppenheimer here. It's Child's Play.
Please, so. I don't want Chucky with access to an atom bomb. Thank you.
I don't know.
I don't think an atom bomb is actually his style.
No, not really.
Do you read it?
He prefers knives.
Okay, now
to give be a Knives Out then.
Okay,
hey.
now to give Charles some credit, he is actually going to try and get to taking Andy's soul relatively quick into the movie, actually.
Hey, that's part of a title.
How about a Valium? What's a Valium? Diazepam. It's used for anxiety. He wants to get him drugs.
Hide the soul.
Father of the year, folks.
Shit.
I mean, you could just... Honestly, you could just complete the spell like anyone would believe Kyle
like, who
that a doll possessed him.
You might as well wing it.
This is, again, a bit of an issue I have with Child's Play 2. Is like, well, in order to prolong the plot, we do have some contrivances. Like, Chucky legit has chance after chance to go after Andy, doesn't either take them, or just chickens out too quickly. And like he'd be against killing, that's usually what he does on default.
Well, but logically speaking, Jova, the all of the spell that he has to recite takes a while, and then he also has to wait for the spell to actually take effect. So it takes a while. So the time between Kyle coming in, there was no time to finish things. without being discovered, at least.
Well, again, like I said, like anyone would believe, Kyle, that, oh, the doll possessed...
Well, yeah, Joe, but you also have to think about it from Chucky's perspective. The less people know he's alive, the easier...
He's really trying to go undercover in this movie.
Even in the TV series and everything, he's not just, like... He has some method going on here with all this.
Think about it. The less people know he's alive, the less people will be out to get him, and it will be much easier for him to, just blend in and as a normal doll. So
I'd say that holds up, except for the murders that he does committed midway through the film, which have nothing to do with these people. But I digress. So, right, this bit.
Don't act nervous. I was nearly murdered by her doll last night.
Why is she having a key?
It's a fashion statement.
Is that about your personal diary?
Okay, yeah, this is what I have to call bullcrap. She actually believes that Andy tied himself up like that.
Uh-huh.
It's just like in impossible.
Days, the guy crucifying himself.
They're already starting to bully him.
Hey,
he just got here.
Look at this way,
Not
Andy.
even
remember, Jay, this is the 90s. And the 90s sure loved...
Be so proud.
Sure loved...
I was a kid in the 90s too. They weren't that cruel that fast.
Well, yeah, but in 90s movies loved their bullies. So...
Look at it this way, Andy. At least this time you're being bullied by kids of your age instead of a director.
A lot of the canon in this movie kind of goes over my head because it's been a while. And as fun as this movie is, it's a comedy slasher.
Yes.
Slasher in the loosest term.
Well, that's the thing. They weren't considered comedy horror films until...
What is this transition? Okay.
This is camp horror, a very specific kind of
great.
horror.
We're reading Pinocchio. Just for the record, okay, I know that because time changed and everything, but roughly 7 years after this movie was made...
I'm sorry I had to comment on that line. Get lost, microchip. What the...
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Spare the rod, spoil the child type of teacher.
What childhood did Don Mancini have to
actually, Dwibs, Don Mancini had a bit of a tough childhood because he's a gay man, and his father was
Don't even get me started.
Not great.
He wrote that. You can literally cross-reference his handwriting.
Yeah,
You can quite literally cross-reference his lettering.
I just have a better
most
question.
schools aren't going to do that. They're just going to assume he did it. That's pretty reasonable to me.
We don't need no education.
Oh my god.
I got a better question. Why is Charles wasting time getting Andy's schoolwork ruined?
Get him in more trouble. It's trying to make sure that nobody is on his side.
Even the first movie demonstrated plentifully that Chucky
Keep
is
him.
Despite everything, Chucky is gonna be creative enough to try to at least toy with the victim. And
especially in the case of
not go direct.
Chucky's gonna end up like Kyle.
Okay. The difference is that in the first movie, Chucky didn't know initially that he had a time limit. Essentially, as soon as he did find out that he had a time limit, he made going after Andy his top priority.
Why did you lock the door? What if there's a fire?
Yeah. Negligent teachers for the win.
Again, were the schools in Mancini's childhood really this lax? with
I can
safety?
believe that.
I can actually believe that, honestly, because schools are terrible.
Also, they make them read at that kind of, roughly age of the Pinocchio book, which... yeah, what I will say before. Around the same school year, roughly, elementary and everything, my class was already letting me read The Hobbit, believe it or
All
not.
right, now we're about to get one of the most iconic kills in the Child's Play franchise.
Right, yeah. About Chucky not wanting to attract attention.
I mean, he was trying to go after Andy
Wait,
specifically.
Wait, hang on. A kill in a horror movie involving someone locking a door and then
You
the killer
locked
coming right
it.
out afterwards. Is this Child's Play 2 or Exorcist 3? Because both
I
came
don't
out
think
the
she
same
locked
year,
the
funnily
closet
enough.
specifically.
Like, not to mention also, this was literally his first day in school. Talk about... It's not the fact that he has to make a good impression on the teacher, it's kind of the opposite.
I'm not really the type of person to root for the killers. I'm actually way more enjoying stuff when the survivors are getting a little bit. That's why I dropped Dead by Daylight. But this is probably going to be the most cathartic thing about the series.
That was the best. Well, that's how most of these kind of genre of movies is. That Jay, they usually create characters who are dicks so that you hate them, and then it becomes more satisfying when the killer kills them. But
Like pump?
yeah, and now,
Yes.
all right, now I have a particular one-liner I want to use for this.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
I'm more surprised
Oh, there we go.
she doesn't...
Hey guys, now this is what I call corporal punishment.
I'm more surprised that her first question wasn't she suspected it was Andy in a costume.
I'm not surprised I'm not surprised she's got a yardstick. Spare the
Also,
roster of the child.
he's-
And
Well,
he's
let me
not
get
dumb
this
followers.
straight. He killed her to death with a ruler.
Yes,
By spanking
Yes.
her.
yes, and I love that.
There's one day Dej will have to
Again.
show you... Sorry, go on.
No, I'm sorry. Again, how many adults are gonna go without cross-referencing?
Dej, one day we'll have to show you A Clockwork Orange. In that one, a woman gets killed with a penis statue.
Yep.
Also, Andy, that closet is already inhabited by Harry Potter. Go away.
Yeah, that is a legit good question. How did he?
Horror movie logic.
He can teleport, extra voodoo magic.
Teleportation,
suppose.
yeah.
Yeah, that is something black magic.
Okay. You had the child from less than a week.
That's very true.
Okay,
Yeah.
outside of guest appearing in different games, potentially, Pedro, has Chucky the series ever got a tie-in video game of any kind?
I don't think so.
Interesting. This
I'll
would be the
say.
kind of series
Well-
that you get an NES platformer where Andy has to dodge Chucky.
I can see that, yeah, but
Jesus
surprise.
Christ, he's only been there 2 days in the rain, you see. He'll tear the family apart.
Well, trust me,
The
Dwebs.
walls are paper thin.
Oh yeah, trust me, Dwebs. The father is an asshole. That's again, Dwebs. That's actually one of the big things that makes a lot of Child's Play fans really like the relationship between Andy and Kyle, because Kyle is, of course, the one that's tries to help him get through this.
Okay, so apparently in 2011 there was a game in development called Chucky Wanna Play. However, it got canceled.
Oh, you go, listen.
Okay, then.
Listen here.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
She's basically trying. She's. I do like this because she's gone
Not
for
the
the.
lesson you should be teaching him, but hey, A for effort.
Well, it's more so that she's trying to prepare him for what she went through because she's afraid that he also is one that's going to be, like her, where unfortunately he's going to go from foster parents to foster parents, because like she just said, like she has gone through multiple families at this point, so she's sharing her experience and trying to help him, be emotionally prepared for it. So again, even though her intent, it's one of those cases, Jay, where her intentions are great. It's just that obviously, because of her, she's still a minor. She's not the best at this, basically.
Yeah. The advice she gets isn't really advice to be helpful, or it's advice trying to be helpful, but it's what she's learned.
Yeah, I like it that way.
Not good either.
Go on.
It's more of a case that hopefully Andy won't ever have to face that.
Yeah.
It's just a warning to him.
I like that because it's a very
It's a
realistic.
bread cutter. It's an automatic bread cutter.
I like that because it's a very realistic way of writing the character, where she's trying her best to give him good advice, but because of how she is, obviously she's not the best at it.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Of
Also,
course he's not there.
I never even knew such a thing existed.
Mhm.
I guess it's useful for someone, but
Again, that's the one.
overkill.
Again, that's the one
It
element.
actually comes in handy at times. Go on, Pedro.
Again, that's the one element of this movie that pretty much is universally accepted as the best thing. His relationship with Kyle.
How far are we in this movie?
Halfway
Ooh,
through.
we're
Over
transitioning
halfway.
to Act 3.
All of these movies are 90 minutes long.
The
Jay.
pace actually flows very nice, DJ.
Yeah, it's really nice. I was not entirely sure where we were because it's just good.
What the hell was that?
I feel sorry for this poor child trying to go in all alone against the killer.
Ow.
Well,
He's so unfazed.
well, Jay, let's just say you have a cool surprise coming to you by movie 5.
Yeah.
Huh. Really?
Is
In
movie
Seed
5 Bride of Chucky?
No. Movie 5 is
No.
Seed of Chucky.
Oh yeah, true. Jova's right. Movie 6.
thinking movie 6,
yeah,
aren't you?
movie 6. Sorry, I miscounted.
I don't want to know about Chucky's steed. Thank you very much.
That's the entire point.
Movie 5. Chucky has to go find a dick.
That's actually movie 4. That's actually movie 4.
Oh, no, a spinning wheel.
Oh no! Don't prick your finger on it. You'll fall asleep for 50 years, or however long, or however long it is in which version of the fairy tale.
He's of royalty, I guess.
Sure, why not?
Oh, okay. One thing to remember is that the foster mother is a seamstress, so this is probably
Yeah.
some.
Yeah, there's that too.
Probably like a family stuff that she inherited.
Buddy, no. I get it's an automatic bread cutter, so it's going to do
Actually,
very
let me
little
check.
damage that she can't fix, but buddy, no.
If I remember correctly, there you go. In the scenes where they don't use an animatronic, Chucky is actually, physically played by Ed Gale.
Mm-hmm.
Good work on the animatronic, though.
Oh no! Oh, that reminds me. I haven't answered Teo's question yet. Let me get it.
It
real
was
quick.
the same person who portrayed
strong is this
Howard the Duck
doll?
in the suit.
What was the puppeteer guy?
Okay, do you just hate kids, my dude?
Yeah, it seems to me. Are you one of those parents that adopt kids just so you can have like a bonus income from the state or some shit like that?
Now, it seems like it's more the mom who's interested in Andy. Like,
Yeah. The mom wanted him, but the dad was always very hesitant, basically. So that's the basic gist of
Again,
it.
the issue with the dad is that he seems to be put off by the fact that Andy isn't exactly the happiest child. Dick.
Yeah, basically. Here it is too. His name is Brock Winkless. He was the puppeteer of Chucky in Child's Play, Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, Bride, and that's it.
Another consistency at the very least. Uh-oh. Now you believe, jackass.
Yeah.
Ow.
Oh my.
Oh, snap.
That's gonna hurt a little bit.
He's fine.
Is he though? All right. In this. All right. In this. Okay.
Spirit.
All right. In this. Okay. I wanted to say something. In this specific scene. I can understand because she's absolutely distraught over the fact that her husband just died. So obviously she's not thinking clearly.
Wait. She thinks the child.
Yeah, she thinks the
killed him.
child did.
Dibs.
okay.
I just explained this. Come on.
Let me
Pay attention.
I wasn't here.
Let me put it away,
yeah.
Libs, in how she thinks probably he did it. He had that bread cutter thing. I don't know how good it is, but I'm guessing it can cut through wood in some capacity.
Like I said.
Given that there are no cutting marks on the husband, that wouldn't make any sense.
No, just the
But
wood,
also-
what would make him fall.
Okay, so what I was trying to say, Dwebs, is that line, I can at the very least understand that one line because she just completely is despaired and distraught over her husband. She just found her husband's corpse. So obviously she's not thinking clearly on that moment.
Also, like, Chucky is shorter than Andy, and he did use a pole to trip him, or like some kind of hook. So, like,
You can see
Andy
the damage
could
on the
have done
side. It's
that.
obviously Andy's not going to.
I think it was one of those, I forgot the name of utensils, the one that he used for the chimney to poke around the fire.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for digging in the deep.
So I guess, to be fair, she didn't have the police arrest Andy. He's just being taken away, which I guess means the mother didn't tell the police Andy did it.
Well, can you even arrest a 6-year-old?
Yeah, I was about to question,
Yes.
like, is the legislation in this case is a thing of, oh, it gets sent back to the foster home and, gets adopted again later on or something like that?
In terms of arresting a kid, usually, well, okay, actually, no, juvenile hall is usually for teenagers, but as for a kid, well, let's see, children under 12 years old, okay, granted, that was a recent change in the system. Like, children under 12 or older could no longer face arrest or prosecution in New York State. So it might vary. However, oh, here we go. Okay, so it depends on the state.
Okay, well, we're in Chicago,
This is
so it's
Chicago,
Illinois, so
so Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
into the trash you
Let's
go.
see.
It doesn't even, yeah, there you go.
I would say you should have set him on fire, but that doesn't quite work.
Well, that didn't
We
work the
tried.
last time, Shiro, apparently.
That's what I just said.
Also, that shot before, I don't know about you guys, but that shot was kind of trying to tell us something about the identity of that police agent. I don't know.
Those police members were from the last movie as well.
No, it was more like the fact that the camera was square centered around showcasing the Chicago police,
Oh, well, yeah,
thing on the
Chicago
shoulder.
police.
Because this we need people to know this film is set in Chicago.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Hold on.
Wait a minute. But that
Yeah,
means
it's funny. Marcos literally messaged me this a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
but
that
that
turn.
means
Oh, I love that facial expression. That's the oh, you little shit.
but that
He was
means
talking
our
about turn.
doll was an imposter all along.
An imposter among us, one could say.
Wow, that's pretty sussy right there.
Has anyone done a Chucky Among Us character?
I don't want to know.
Let me
I
see.
think it might be easy to recreate. I
Someone
forgot.
might have modded it.
Yes.
I forgot.
Yay.
Was there a Chucky themed expansion for Dead by Daylight?
I wouldn't
No, there was
know.
not.
Not that I know of.
No, everyone's just
Whoa.
running
Who
around
would
as
you-
Nicolas Cage right now.
Yeah,
Who would you ask to do that? Mancini or Universal?
MGM.
Oh, because MGM own some of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, MGM owns
on Prime.
MGM owns specifically the first movie, the streaming series, and I think that's it.
Legal rights have always been a
Most of the
critical thing,
most of the
even in
movies
horror
are
movies.
most of the movies are Universal though.
Nowadays, I think Friday the 13th is owned by Paramount, but it jumped between a fuck ton of companies.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Now that's a knife. Okay.
Keep
we
it
need a
sheathed,
little
keep it locked up
machine.
until you're ready to fight the toy. Otherwise, he's gonna use it against you.
Classic horror movie shot.
Why is the main
There
villain
you are.
Bubsy now?
Might want to take that ball from like the middle of the stairs.
I think we have higher priorities right now, Sherry.
Well, someone's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
fall
the-
over that.
The ball of
Someone's
ball of
probably
yarn,
already
the-
fallen.
Ah, somebody will pick it up.
Yes,
The
we
ball of yarn. That's the ball of yarn, ladies and gentlemen. The new antagonist of the Child's Play films, Bubsy.
What sounds like a fan?
No.
Oh, I don't think I want to know the answer to that question.
That would be a fun idea. Chucky killing Bubsy.
What could possibly go wrong?
No, the thing is, he
Honestly,
can't kill Bubsy.
Honestly, Pedro, I don't think he would get that much pleasure out of it.
Uh-oh, it wasn't a fan. It was the
It was just a
sewing
scene.
machine.
Did he button eyes into her?
But let me guess.
This is not Coraline.
Joanne is
with
dead.
Dedge.
Oh, so you need a different thing for that.
Yeah, it was more crude.
That face.
Surprise. Yeah.
So how long were you waiting there for?
I was waiting
As long as it took.
as long as it took. Totally worth it.
Remember, he's not a monster.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's the
Yes.
definition of a monster.
Well, that's the thing.
It's
well,
a reference to the TV series.
basically,
I know.
oh, you know it. Okay.
Oh, too slow.
All right, blunt object.
Well done. Now you're giving Chucky a knife.
You fool!
How long has she been dead for?
Not that long.
No, not consider look.
Yeah, considering the time that he was put in the bin was fairly recent.
Chucky is
Yeah.
surprisingly resourceful and gets shit done quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of sharp objects
Watch your
around the
ankles.
sewing machine.
Oh,
You just had to say, Jay.
Well, you started it.
Yeah, you started it years ago when you killed all those people.
I mean, you seem pretty capable.
How's that my problem?
Oh,
Oh,
Why are you looking at me? It's like you've never seen a killer doll before.
Chicago police doing their job. Unrealistic.
Now I'm
Okay, all right, now that, all right, now that is the most unrealistic thing, definitely.
Also, I hate how the bad timing is on my part, because during these days I had to play the first Watch Dogs, and the police in that one is so annoying.
Behave. Should have said ain't got.
I love this bit here.
You know, from a certain point of view, this guy looks like Will Arnett.
I'm giving it to my boyfriend as a present. His voice changed, no?
It's a new feature in the new edition.
I
That was
mean,
a scrap
considering you
concept.
have
That's yeah. This one bleeds. That's a clever little callback to the original Blood Brothers script from the first movie.
Yeah, sure.
like considering you have dolls that are supposed to simulate pooping and peeing, one bleeding out the nose seems genuinely in the realm of possibility.
Yeah, honestly, that seems plausible. I'll take the fake blood thing over the fake pee and poop thing. To be honest, I'll find that less disgusting actually.
Also, now we're back slightly to normality because the police officer decided to let her go just because she had a fucking doll that he knew about.
The Chicago.
All right, the police are
It's like if a cop arrested me or something, but because I had a shiny Charizard card, it would let me.
To be fair, I don't think that was the actual reason, and he just essentially let her off with a warning and all that.
Yeah, sometimes
Maybe
cops do
someone will
that.
get a paper cut with it, Theo. I don't know. Shut up and drive?
Whoa!
Didn't think of that, did
You heard him.
You said drive.
Oh, good, he's sexist too.
I mean,
that's like the least offensive thing he is. So let's be real here.
I'm gonna quote.
It's the subversion of bread, milk, eggs, squick.
I'm gonna paraphrase
All of these offenses. Oh, and he's sexist too.
Jay, I'm gonna paraphrase, a reference to Mandalore Gaming had towards a game reviewed on Halloween, so it's also themed. Chucky not being sexist would have been out of character.
Hold on, Jay. Are you trying to imply that Charls Lee Ray may not be a very nice person?
Kyle, not for nothing.
No, I'd never go that far.
Kyle, not for nothing. Getting out of your car is probably one of the worst things you can do at this moment. Especially since there's nothing to suggest that the car doesn't still work, so maybe you should drive, go to Andy, make sure you're safe.
There we go. Maybe we're doing 3, I forgot. But out of curiosity, Pedro, doing one of the next movies, we have a group of people trying to escape from Chucky, and they try to split up.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Almost zero supervision for these poor children.
I can believe it.
I'm sorry, the doll made me do it.
Dwebs, remind me, what's the name of the orphanage in Oliver?
A shitty one.
That was Victoria and London. This should be Chicago. Like, if it was Detroit, maybe I would get it. Robocop told me that much.
Well, it doesn't really have a name. It's just an orphanage. It's only there for a little bit in terms of
Sure.
story time, and then he gets sent to the workhouse.
I mean, sure.
Yeah, I saw this scene on TV.
Classic.
Classic.
Lovely.
I mean,
Well,
wrong.
he's not wrong. So.
I've seen several. I caused them.
Here's a fun fact, by the way, a fun behind-the-scenes fact. Alex Vincent has said various times in interviews that he formed lifelong friendships with both the actress of his mom in the first movie, as well as Christina Lee's here.
That's
Yeah, I
cool.
can see that. So child bonding with adult who has to act as their parent. I'm
And-
surprised I don't hear about that more often.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always a guaranteed.
Like I said,
I
it's
wonder though if they ever get confused with calling another adult their parent or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
Andy is going to own a gun in the future just to prep. It's going to be Halloween 30 years later again.
If we need to apply the rules of escalation, at some point Chucky is gonna breathe fire for one reason or another.
Movie 6, Jay. Movie 6.
Okay, I thought you were going to say to me. Like... Also, I can see why this was orchestrated by the person who composed for the Batman animated series. I'm starting to hear it a bit.
Also, I think Chucky actually gets a gun as early as movie 3, and if not that, definitely by movie 4.
I mean,
I was talking about Andy, Jova.
Is a movie 3 set in a military camp or something?
Yes, it's a military academy.
Because that's what the Child Play series is about.
Well, the thing is, the one thing you have to understand about Don Mancini too is that he himself said this various times. He would rather, he would rather risk alienating some fans by trying something really out there, rather than just do the same thing over and over and allow the franchise to stagnate.
Sure.
Although I think even he was, spent with Child's Play 3.
Well, the thing you have to understand about Child's Play 3, that movie was literally rushed the fuck in production. Like, they had to make the entire script, shoot the entire thing, do the post-production in just 9 months. Anyone who knows anything about filmmaking will tell you that that's insane. And not at all, like, it was literally crunched out.
It was a literal childbirth.
So... I'm going to cut the production crew some slack on that because, well, Universal made their job so difficult,
Oh yeah, but slack or not, I do still think Child's Play 3 is...
Oh, sure.
Of course we're back here again.
Oh, sure.
It's going full circle, Jay.
I agree with that, Joe. It's just that I'm not blaming the filmmakers for it because they were given terrible conditions to make that movie.
Oh, is it the indie slide?
Slide. Well,
Nope,
close
it's a
enough.
roll.
It's a roll. Fair
Yes.
enough.
And she didn't have a hat to bring in anyway.
Good guys. He wants you for a best friend.
He wants you for a best friend.
See, look at that, Shiro. It looks like the good guy doll wants you as his best friend.
Friend till the end, and
Yes.
by that I
Like, good
mean
look
your
at that.
end.
Yes.
Friend to the end, which would be 90 minutes, depending on who you are.
This is the end, Shiroi.
But we have a good few minutes left.
Ow.
You did not knock him out.
Is that an actual way of saying?
Nah, he's just terrible with kids.
I mean, I can't believe that.
I gotta say, guys, Andy's Uncle Charles, seems to need a bit of work with his babysitting skills.
Mhm.
I'm
Not
gonna
the
say
worst creepy
someone should
uncle
call
I've
Child
seen.
Protective Services instead.
We would, but he killed them.
Oh great, the Nothing is arriving to consume everything after he removed Fantasia. Fantastic.
Bastion, say my name, Bastion, say my name.
Oh my god, he's actually doing it! How nice of the
Saying
lightning.
Latin and saying words in Latin. I guess he's preparing for
That's
being
not
Lord of the
Latin
Rings.
at all, Dweebs.
Also,
Voodoo magic
how,
invokes a weather change.
how nice of the lightning to show up inside the building somehow.
Oh, what is it? What is it then, Doctor?
Well, to be fair, the building is apparently made of like transparent material, I think. So I guess
Not
technically.
really, because when we... Well, at
I
least
think
not
it-
the
I
area,
think it-
because...
I think it had some, windows or something.
Yeah.
When we see the inside, it seems to be all solid.
But
Sorry, buddy.
but
You're
it
out of
was
time.
out of time, Chucky. Sorry, you're
To answer your
stuck.
question, Dweebs, I think it's casual. No?
Oh yeah, see, the ceiling is actually solid, not transparent.
Maybe it's on the roof itself.
What-
Did not work.
Whatever. Like it was done like that because it looks cool.
Magic.
It was done like that because it looks cooler on film. Just roll with it.
And it was magic, like,
Sure.
you don't have to explain it.
It's
Oh
what you
no,
deserve.
Chucky! Maybe you should have, not wasted time with all that other stuff.
All right, and
But yeah,
there you
I
go.
w-
I
I
love
was-
this. This climax is entirely in the good guy factory, and the
Yes,
filmmakers get super creative with what they do with it.
Like, for whatever issues I have with this movie, this one definitely has probably my favorite of the Child's Play climaxes.
Again, I really like. Again, remember, like Kyle is the only one who's never outright completely disregarded him, and again, like
Well, before dying anyway.
and again, I really like how she even came back for him because she could have just run for her safety after Chucky went with Andy, but no, she went out of her way to save him. And the movie does a good job explaining that because she sees herself in him because she's gone through this, so she can relate to him on a personal level.
Really? Through that way?
And,
I'm sure there's
and
like a
basically
perfect...
backward, like you're basically swimming upstream.
Surely there must be a perfectly good
Well-
exit, but...
Maybe
Here's a secret: use the sides to climb. You'll get up there much faster.
maybe the
I
idea
don't think those things move that quickly anyway.
maybe
No, but so the way that this machine specifically works is those bars, they spin on their own. It helps things go down faster without getting caught.
See,
Like that.
because this happens.
It's to help toy production move. Oh,
Oh, boy.
come on! I'm explaining something.
That's rude, Charles.
God damn it, Chucky! I'm trying to explain shit.
So yeah, trying to get up there by rolling yourself on them is a little counterproductive.
It allows for this cool sequence, so I'll allow
Oh
it.
yeah, definitely. Like, I think that's just the best way to roll with this movie. For all the stupid stuff there is, you do have to do... Well, the movie would end
This
earlier.
this franchise operates a lot on rule of cool, so
Again, like I say, I do feel like, by the time of the comedy horror films, they at least balanced out more logical stuff to at least give, better reasons why the movie's prolonged that didn't feel like asspulls. Again, I am willing to give it a pass because I still really do like this movie, and like I said, this is still my favorite climax just for how cool the good guy factory set piece is.
I love this bit. And once again, Brad Dourif's acting is absolutely 100% on point.
Body horror.
Yep.
Hey, if you're becoming more human, I'm pretty sure that kind of shock would risk killing you just from pulling off your
He's
hand
too
like that.
psychotic.
The sense of determination in psychosis, allow him to do that.
Of course, determination. He's got a knife and everything.
Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I can make a new body.
This machine is gonna come back into play. Aw,
That is-
yeah. I
Okay,
hate
that
this
is-
thing so.
Okay, that is a weird place to put the exit. Like,
Well-
this implies that employees have to get on the conveyor belt to reach it.
Well, does an okay, I get it, Joe. Does an Amazon joke work here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, insert Amazon joke here.
Has there ever been a Charles Play video? Actually, yeah, there has been, actually.
Yeah, we already asked that.
Chucky slash and dash.
Go, 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 go. There we go.
Oh crap!
Fun fact: Jason Voorhees did this exact same thing in the Jason versus Freddy versus Ash comic.
I don't think that'd work that way.
There you go. Now Chucky is now officially one with his favorite object in the world: the knife.
Oh my god, Quest for Camelot did this with Excalibur.
Yeah, except that movie was terrible. Well, super mediocre and bland.
Don't do your job. You're in a bad way.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. In terms of things the Chucky character has been in, I don't know what's weirder, these movies or those times he's popped up in wrestling for some reason.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
because. Well, I'm sure you're familiar with. Dad, you remind me, what's that current WWE wrestler who's a big fan of Chucky? And she even
Liv Morgan?
Yeah, because you might know, Debs, that her outfit is partly inspired by Chucky's clothes.
Wait, really?
Yes, it is.
Like,
Yeah, she herself said she showed up in season 2 of the streaming series. So let's just say it's one of the coolest Easter eggs ever.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a
Basically,
question.
Chucky was in an episode of WCW Monday Nitro in 1998,
Mhm.
the movie that was coming out that year.
Okay,
and,
so
and he would later go on to be in 2 WWE shows, NXT's Halloween Havoc in 2021 and 2022.
Also, I have two
Because I guess
questions.
there'll
Like,
be nothing better to do.
what was that machine in the factory
Oh,
used for? Because
no.
it was leaking acid. Like,
Poor guy.
This is
Apparently
not how I wanted it to come back into play.
Oh, it's gonna
Apparently-
stab his eyes, isn't it?
It is.
apparently security doubles as the handyman of his factory.
I guess in out of hours, when. And this is an emergency situation because this shit isn't supposed to be operating.
I mean, okay, I'm pretty sure it is happening worldwide and everything, but shit. At least since 2 years from 2 years ago, yeah, death on the job has started to increase rampantly, dangerously in my country. So shit like this has to be expected, unfortunately.
Well, luckily that
like-
only lasted a second.
Hey, I like that outfit. It really brings out your eyes.
Shut up.
Wow.
Uh-oh,
You're
but
getting
hold
annoyed
on.
at puns,
We've
that's
just
for
learned
sure.
how the overflow machine works.
But hold on, what happens if the doll goes in the machine reverse?
I wonder.
Because remember, they're just supposed to go
It
forward.
becomes one of the gimmick puppets from Yu-Gi-Oh's Exo, I guess.
Fuck.
My God.
Not even
I guess
there's an entire Yu-Gi-Oh archetype that's centered around fucked up dolls.
The thing is, I still think the naked balding ones are the weirdest looking ones.
Ow.
Ooh, right in his crotch, too.
I ain't got anything
And a
there.
close up as well.
Well,
Bye.
I also I also like the fact that it's Andy, the one that pushes the final button.
I was
don't know.
only playing.
I don't know who the fuck you're begging.
Yeah, exactly. Not even a comeback, just a middle finger. How poetic.
It's just like in the first movie, Teo. This is the end, friend.
I know, they didn't even need it, this one. It's so beautiful.
It would have been funnier if he just said, "Yeah, I'm playing too."
Oh boy.
So,
That's Charles- that's
are
Charles
you-
Lee Ray. He
you
can
came
dish it
there?
out, but he can't take it.
There you go.
He's seen better days.
I call these bold and brash.
Yes, it does belong
More
in
like
the
burn it
trash.
to a crisp.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, put the hair on it. I'll make it look better.
The plot twist is he's still alive because
I
he
mean,
escaped
we
at the last
gotta have
minute.
sequels, I guess.
Yeah, how many sequels are there left to this, not counting the reboot?
There's a total of 7 movies. Oops.
Is that plus
Unfortunately,
or
the
minus
blood is
reboot?
leaked out.
Minus reboot. Most fans like to just pretend the remake doesn't exist. And of course the classic thing, like, there you go, too. A year before Terminator 2.
Yes, he's becoming more human, because of course a human can live after being bifurcated.
Oh, crap.
You know what? This is probably the way it should have been done.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Ow.
The smile, though.
Yeah, I know, he can't not smile.
This
'cause
child
of it.
really needs therapy.
This poor
one way
kid's
or
going to
another.
become a sociopath. Oh, speaking of, you should probably save your one guardian.
He will.
Oh shit, I forgot.
God, it's like the climax of a brave little toaster. Jesus. Like,
Oh, you've seen that movie. Nice.
when I was 8, believe it or not.
Oh,
He's really dead this
wonderful.
time.
You
Oh,
must have
perfect,
loved.
man.
Remember,
Must have loved.
Shiro, you
You
should
must
know.
have loved.
Go on.
You must have loved the Worthless sequence as a kid.
No, the scene that traumatized me was the mud sinking.
Shiro, you should know by this point, you can't keep a good guy down.
You can't kill what's dead inside.
Exactly, see?
Oh, I thought
Okay,
he was going to give
Andy.
a one line.
How are you still alive?
I have no idea.
Oh my god.
Again, he is becoming more human-like. Of course, us humans are very resilient and can survive all of this.
No, he's becoming the Toxic Avenger, don't you know?
Yes. I know this.
Defeating through cartoon logic, of course.
Yes, I remember this from Trouble in Little China.
Boom.
He survives this, by the way.
Yeah, at that point, Chucky just needs to be like, I give up. Nah. I'm not after this guy anymore. I'm
Actually,
after somebody else.
Fuck
That's
this, I'm
kind-
going back to serial killing.
he kind of does do that in Child's Play 3, believe it or not. Nah, I'm done. Oh, look at this, though. The sun is shining on a brand new day now.
The birds are singing, isn't it?
Children
beautiful?
are playing.
I'm good. I'm Chucky. Heidi ho. Heidi ho. Heidi ho.
More like hide it up your ass. And yeah,
Oh,
just
and credits.
That you see, Teo. Chucky is waving you goodbye. Because the movie's over.
Yes, yeah, he's waving. Yeah, that's the end of the movie.
this is
Go
not
away.
the 70s anymore. We kind of needed an epilogue of some kind.
Well, that was incredibly traumatizing, wasn't it, audience? Exits to your right.
Enjoy your mental scars
Enjoy.
Go away.
and the possible amount of fetishes that have been awakened in you.
Exactly. Alright, and that was
was
Child's
Child's
Play
Play
2. Exactly.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Dibs.
Waves?
I mean, it was kind of fun seeing some of the kills, and okay, honestly, to me, it's kind of like the first movie, except they kind of ramp up the comedy a little bit more. More so, they add a slightly more comedic tone to the deaths.
Mm-hmm. Mostly because Don is the only writer this time.
Yeah, and apparently it's going to stay that way from now on.
Starting with Bride of Chucky, he becomes a writer-director. That's...
Yeah. Well, we got like 3 movies before we get to that anyway. So, honestly, there's not much to say. But I do like the music.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the found sibling relationship with Kyle and Andy?
So I guess, I mean, considering I've honestly, when the movie first started, I was kind of expecting the worst. It's like, oh god, she's just gonna be she's just gonna be constantly mean to him throughout.
And yet she's
half of the movie.
And yet she's the one who treats him best.
Cool.
It's because, like I said, she can relate to him because she sees herself in him because she's gone through what he fortunately did not go through because now that he's no longer with the foster parents.
Well, I mean, he's gonna have to go to different orphanage parents anyway.
But the basic point is that Kyle sees herself in him, so she can relate, and that's why she is more understanding to him than the other grown-ups. So, anything else, Vips?
It'll be interesting to see what happens next time when the movie has only 9 months to not only 9 months to get made, but also casts the main character of Dungeons and Dragons 2000.
Interesting. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, Shiroi, thoughts, please.
Well, that was fun. And honestly, I don't think most of the deaths were that outlandish. I mean, they didn't at least wait until the very end of the movie to reveal that it wasn't Andy doing all this. And like a lot of the adults in this are some of the most incompetent and unhelpful kind of adults you could ever find in life, whether fiction or reality. So I don't know. I buy it enough. Like
the thing we have to remember
what franchise we're talking about.
Yeah,
here.
by its very nature, this is not meant to be Oscar-worthy material. This is just meant to be fun first of all. So
yeah. The relationship between Andy and Kyle is good, and since I haven't seen series 2 in its entirety for the TV series, but seeing the whole thing, it's nice to come back to this to like their relationship is very good and it continues to be good. So, what?
Sorry, I just found that info dump, the image that Jova sent at 508. They arrested the Chucky doll.
Yeah.
And its owner.
Look, all I have to say is burn it.
You're under arrest for owning
doesn't work.
You're under arrest for owning a Chucky doll.
That doesn't
okay,
kill
fine. Trap it in a safe. Take it to a volcano and drop it in a volcano.
Right.
I'm not sure that's gonna work, Dej. Knowing how the Chuckster operates, he might become, the next gold in a Polynesian island, for all we know.
All right.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's their problem, then.
Indeed.
The music is fine. I wasn't really focusing on it too much.
What do you think?
No, this is a very good movie.
What do you think of the factory climax?
Amazing, obviously. The one definitely the complete opposite of the one we're getting in the next movie. We'll get that over with. But yeah, I think that's it. This is. Remind me, where did I rank this on the tier list?
You rank this as your number 2 movie, just behind Curse of Chucky.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that still tracks at the moment, and that's it.
All right, Teo.
Sure, why not? I definitely enjoyed this better than the first movie, probably because the sense of escalation and the more emphasis on the humor help. I get that it's very frustrating towards the first half of seeing this poor child not only being mistreated, but also, no one actually believing him with some circumstances. I certainly got reminded of in Turnabout Serenade from Apollo Justice because of this. Where more in a sense of people prefer to believing something completely more implausible than something that that would have made more sense even if you started thinking more about it. Again, it has the same logic of those annoying teenagers that you just cannot wait to get killed in something like Friday the 13th or Cabin Fever.
But Teal, the child totally tied himself up, all arms and legs extended.
I'm quoting again End of Days. Maybe he did himself, referring to someone crucified to the ceiling. But I think it's more of a case of if you manage to endure the frustration, it's still a very enjoyable movie, overall. And I can say that, like I said, I prefer it over the first one, in most of these aspects. I'm still not sure if I will consider this series something that I personally enjoyed compared to, other horror slasher series I'm more fond of, like Nightmare on Elm Street, But I can tell you that at least with this sequel, there's a genuine intention of, improving overall. And again, it also you can definitely feel a better sense of direction because I've seen both Friday Night and the Langoliers series products of the director Tom Holland, and yeah, I can tell you a lot of the potential pacing problems of the first movie, how some of the scenes felt too stretched was his fault and not Don. So yeah, definitely an improvement. I'll have to see again to see what the damage is. Next.
Child's Play 2 is definitely one of the best Child's Play movies that there is. Again, I do have my fair share of critiques about it. Like Teal, I am frustrated with, of course, the extensions to the plot. And it's not just the fact that, people don't believe Andy or at least assume something incredibly outlandish in favor of him, but also the fact that Chucky really wastes his time a little too much. Now, some bits, yeah, you could argue he doesn't want to blow his cover. Then he does stuff that would draw attention to Andy, so yeah, he kind of works against himself. Not to mention, he wastes time torturing Andy, which, yeah, I mean, again, in the first film, he kind of did that. However, that was mainly him getting back against people that he wanted to, and just happened to be under suspicion of that stuff. And also, again, he didn't know from the get-go that he needed to get his soul into Andy's body. Like, here he does know from the get-go. He wastes a lot of time, and what a shock. Runs out of time before he can get his soul in the body. Alas. That being said, for all the issues that this movie has, it is a nice and entertaining ride and pretty much takes what worked from the first film and ramps it up to 11. You've got more action, you've got more kills, the animatronic effects are improved, the one-liners are here and there, and of course you've got Brad Dourif hamming and cheesing it up as Chucky. Absolutely delicious.
Obviously.
And again, it may not be my favorite Child's Play movie, but I can definitely appreciate it as a Child's Play movie that would help set the formula from here on out, essentially. Chucky comes back one way or another, he's trying to get his soul into a new body, so yeah, gotta stop him.
Basically.
Like, that is legit pretty much the overall idea behind every movie following this one.
Well, most of these,
for maybe Seed of Chucky, which does do a bit of a spin on that in the end, but
and the TV series.
See when we get to that.
The TV series in particular, despite replicating the tone of this movie, definitely goes for wildly different things in comparison.
Yes. So yeah, Child's Play 2. It has issues. It has problems. That being said, this is a movie where we're willing to waive that because it's a Child's Play fic. And more importantly, it's a good Child's Play fic. You see that Child's Play free? That's what you were missing. I'm sorry, but really, when you see Child's Play free, whoo boy.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
Saying it
See the
tomorrow,
ugliness
so.
of human race.
I still argue 3 is okay. It's just that, like, it's just okay,
It's just such a slog for me, but again,
Sure,
get
no,
that when
I
we
get it.
to that.
All right, Jay, do you want me to pick Deji, or are you done sorting your thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Go ahead.
And I'd like to start with, Your Honor, my client would like to claim that voodoo magic is bullshit.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you one well versed in voodoo magic?
You don't want the answer to that question. Anyway, this is a fantastic continuation to the first movie. You start with the initial scene of the company having to save face by figuring out what the hell is going on with this doll that they've brought back to life. The moment that they attempt to, everything goes wrong. Someone gets killed, and of course, they hush hush. Really good. This is just corporate in its prime. Moving on to finding out about Andy being in a Andy's mom being in a psychiatric ward. That's a little contrived on account of being written out, but I understand since the actress didn't come back for it. But that's very few of the negatives that I've got with this movie. There are some points in it where it's just, why is this going on? The second death technically would be, why is this going on? He had no real reason to go after the guy. He could have just let him... Well, I guess he couldn't have just let him die on his own accord, but...
It is important to remember, Jay, that Chucky loves killing. Like, he's a
yeah, I get he loves killing, but if you need yourself to go from one location to another and you're wiping your boots... we saw him later in the movie go underneath a school bus in order to hide and make face.
Yeah.
There's just some things that you can try and help to push the plot along, and I get it, where Chucky's back, and this is his way of showing, yeah, he's back. And it really does hype to the movie. That's why it's a very minor negative. Moving on to the positives, this movie is filled with 90s hype.
Yeah.
We get poor Andy, who has already lived through an actual serial killing. Now he's not being believed. He's stuck in the psychiatric ward, and Chucky's come back to make his life miserable. Look, from the outside, it looks odd. Like, why is he wasting his time with this? He knows he's got a time limit. But what it does is it drums up the fact that Andy now has nobody to turn to. No one believes him. Everyone thinks he's a troublemaker. In a time of need, they're not going to be there. It's genius for driving the poor boy into despair. It's a very good move on the enemy part. Unfortunately, it does wind up costing him because he does spend too much time wrapping up anyone who's seen him alive. Obviously, they've got to go because anyone that can believe Andy can help him out. Getting to see it push further and further both broke my heart and, as a writer, just savored some of the best parts of conflict. It's one of those moments, of course you're mad. You should be mad. Of course no one's going to believe him. That's what makes it so emotional. It is one of the best tools that a writer can use is drumming up emotion from yourself over reacting to the situation. And the way that it drives home with the factory scene, with him bonding with Kyle over the fact that, he's going to be thrown out of the house, it's a light of hope in what is a very heart-wrenching scenario, seeing this poor boy going up against a serial killer by himself. The music, it's a weak point for me. Not that the music was bad. The best thing of music for me is when it melds into the background and I can't recognize anything, because it just helps to drive a scene, and it did its job very well. Going on to the climax point in and of itself, a little gruesome for the 90s bit with his head exploding, with him being melted in by the machine and added parts to, with him losing his leg, losing his arm and replacing it with a knife and just being blown up. It's a little much. My God, did it... It helped with creating hype to the scene, but overall it was a bit much. I can easily see why this movie is as fan favorite as it is. It deserves to be there. It is a step up from the first Child's Play, even with its slight meandering, and I'm actually kind of excited to see where the series will continue. But
Oh,
from what I've
yeah.
overheard with, from what I've heard with everybody, apparently I should be watching out for 3. Can't wait to see what goes on tomorrow.
Like I said,
Don't worry, Lake.
this is just me, but I think 3, if you just judge it on its own merit, it's still okay. It's just that it's Chucky on autopilot. It works, it's serviceable, but it's definitely not as enjoyable as the first 2 movies.
To me, I feel
Fair
like
enough.
To me, I feel like the problem with Child's Play 3 is that it's missing the fun element, big
Yeah.
time.
Well, whatever it's missing, we'll get to talk about that the next time we record.
Exactly.
On the plus side, Jay, though, after 3, it's pretty much uphill from there.
Yeah, I agree, because even though there's still a lot of people who don't like Seed, I still think that movie is a blast. So
Oh yeah, same.
Good or bad,
It came
every
out when I was in 4th grade.
good or bad, every series has its peaks and its valleys. So if this is going to be the valley, oh man, I can't wait.
no, Chess Play is the Chucky franchise is a lot of fun. If you just want to have fun, this is the franchise for you, basically.
Although, how ironic is that? Movie-wise, what a lot of people consider the peak is followed by what a lot of people consider to be the valley with 3.
Hold on, I just realized what you just said there, where the Chucky series is a lot of fun. Are you telling me that Child's Play was meant to be fun? Man, I would have never thought that.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Jay?
No, that's all I've got to say. I think again, voodoo magic be bullshit, yo.
All right. Deji.
I gotta say, they really ramped up things after the first movie. While the first movie was like, it still had its comedic things, there were still things that felt more grounded, as much as you can with voodoo magic. But oh my god, at some points this just felt cartoonish. And I loved it.
No, trust me. Don embraces the cheese of this franchise wholeheartedly, I assure you.
Again, it's camp horror. It's great.
Yeah, basically.
Well, it's schoolyard horror. Camp horror is Friday the 13th. I'll stop.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. They gave an explanation as to how Chucky came back, even though it's stupid. Not as in, oh, this doesn't make sense. It's more like, you idiots.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? I'm trying to think. The death scenes are pretty comedic, especially the Princer one, which I did see on TV once. and it did horrify me. I was like, oh no, death, because I was like, what, 9 years old?
I still get a kick of watching Chucky beat a teacher to death with a ruler. That's just brilliant.
Oh my! All I could think was at that point was, yes, spare the Rothschild.
It's always the line
Really
that
showed her the rules.
every time I see that scene, I always say it because I just can't resist it. Now this is what I call corporal punishment.
He said it while he was showing me these movies off
Yeah.
commentary too.
Dad jokes.
Go ahead, Dej.
Overall, good movie. It doesn't go downhill from here, does it?
Like I said,
Again, just with 3, but other than that, I'd argue it just gets better.
and like I said, with
Reminder that the next movie had 9 months to
yeah,
be made.
yeah, it's one of those things where, yeah, when you look at the development of the movie, yeah, no wonder it's lacking compared to the previous one, because, yeah, like, this movie was literally the film equivalent of crunch. Like, massive crunch. Make an entire movie from writing the script all the way to finishing post-production, putting it in theaters in just 9 months, because Universal wanted to squeeze as much money out of this franchise while it was still popular. Yeah, no wonder the movie turned out the way it did. Anything else, Edge?
I'm good.
Okay, as for me, yeah, Child's Play 2. It's still my personal favorite, mostly because I grew up with it. So obviously, I have a strong nostalgic attachment to it. So obviously, it's going to also have a strong place in my heart. It's not what I would call subjective feelings aside. It's not what I would call the best Chucky movie. That would be Curse of Chucky. But it's still a lot of fun. Like the acting is still very solid, and the characters do a good job with the like we've said. There's the illogical aspect to it, but from my experience, this is just something that comes with the territory when it comes to American slasher movies. There's always going to be contrivances and stuff like that because it's just something that you see plenty in the genre. So whatever. At this point, I just consider this part of the package. And it's whatever, because to me the movie is a lot of fun, because the movie gets things right where it matters most, but specifically by providing a genuinely good and wholesome relationship between these two kids who can relate to each other because they're in they're in the same situation actually.
So does that mean you'd say that this movie has a lot of heart and soul to it?
Exactly. I hate kids, but yeah, no, it's fun. I really like Christina Lee's and Alex Vincent's performance. They have good chemistry and it works really well. I actually prefer it over his relationship with his mom. Not that the relationship with his mom was good too. It's just that there's just something about Andy and Kyle. Again, that's why the fans like it so much. Like I really agree with the fan base. There's just something about the idea of two kids who are orphans and they bond over their mutual trauma. It's just a very good thing. And again, like I said, and I also like the detail that Kyle tries her best to give good advice to Andy, but while her intentions are the best, she's not the best at doing it, which is pretty realistic and believable because, well, she's 17. She's not exactly a psychologist, so obviously she's not going to be the best at this. So it makes the character feel real.
Actually, if I could jump back in for a quick second, I gotta love how she gives that bad advice to Andy, and then by the near end of the movie, she immediately goes back on her word by being there for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's charming. It's
because she genuinely likes him because, like I said, the reason they bond almost immediately is because, like I said, he sees himself in her. She sees herself in him, sorry. So, yeah, and it works really well. Because Don always said when he first announced the TV series that one of the reasons this eventually gets brought back in the TV series season 1 is because he knew that fans really like this, so he decided he thought it would be really cool to see how they are years later. And yeah, definitely. And yeah, I have a lot of fun with the deaths. I mean, again, this franchise is silly and comedic and cartoonish by its own very basic premise. So just embrace the cheese. That's the way it should be. And it works really well on that regard. Yeah. So yeah, I have a lot of fun. It's still great. Once again, of course, the star of the show is Brad Dourif, who always delivers every single line with pitch perfect delivery. And he's 70. He's at this point he's 75, I think, and he's still playing Chucky to this day. And we wouldn't have it any other way. So yeah, a lot of fun. So really good. Now, Shiroi, guess what? Since Deji and Jay were talking about giving gifts, I actually decided I'm going to give you a gift. I'm going to send you a good guy doll.
Why?
I really hate her.
Because that way you can officially be our guide for the next movie we're going to do in this movie run, which is Child's Play 3. So Shiroi, what name would you want your good guy doll to be? Chucky? Tommy?
Tiffany?
Phil? Lil?
No, I was actually going to say Phil, because if we're going with that joke...
that would be fun. Hi, I'm Phil. Wanna play?
No.
Seriously, though, like, Tommy and Chucky, tell me that wasn't an obvious Rugrats reference they were running.
All right, everybody, tune in next time, everybody, for Child's Play 3.
Yeah.
See you then.
See ya.